I, for one, really wish Mizuno would stop doing this. Now, I love Mizuno. I'm a huge Mizuno fan and I always have been, but this is starting to grind my gears just a little bit. In today's video, I have a brand new Mizuno club, which you may not have seen yet, but I'm a little bit sick of how many releases they are doing, primarily because I have another club in this video that I'm going to show you that I personally think is better than this one, and I also think it's easier to use. I don't know why they've gone to replace it, or if they've replaced it, or if in fact it's just another new range. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to play some very interesting shots. Like, don't get me wrong, this club looks really good, guys. I will get into what it is in just a moment's time, but for one, I absolutely cacked myself then. Right. I just wish they would stick to what they're good at and carry on making fantastic clubs. Today we're talking about the brand new Mizuno T24 wedges. That actually felt really nice, but I lose track of how many wedges Mizuno bring out, and I really think they are starting to lose track with you guys about what wedges potentially are best for you. You'll see I've hit a really nice shot in there. We've got around 120 yards downwind. This is the 52 degree. There's some gorgeous finishes in these wedges. I'll be positive about that, but how much technology can you have in a wedge and how much should you spend on them? Because as well, these wedges aren't cheap. That is all over it. Go on. Loads of spin on there, but you would anticipate that. These wedges are going to set you back around £160. That's not cheap in anyone's money. And like I said, there's a club in that bag over there, which for me, Chris gave us a look then, but for me, I think it's better. I think it's still a current Mizuno club. I don't know why they've released the new one. Right, we're going to have to stand on this because we're not quite getting to that flag. Let's see if we can really pump it up there and get some action. There we go. There we go. Very nice. So these feel fantastic, as you would anticipate. They look very good. They look nice and clean. There's not too much going on really. This is the T range, so these do replace the T21s, 23s. So we have basically that's a 2024 club, isn't it? Do we need new wedges every year? I personally don't think so. Don't take this as a nagging or a negative video, because let me show you what's in this bag. I have a club which was my favourite club of the year this year, and I've got a brand new one still in the wrapper. This is the 60 degree Mizuno S23 wedge. These look very much like the old Night Gorge wedges. I'm going to compare it today to Mizuno's brand new offering. For me, this is so good. You can get some really good flights with this. You can get some really good versatility, but you also get loads of forgiveness. And opposed to the T24 range, I'm not sure why anybody will potentially go for the new one over this one, personally. So in my hand now, I have the brand new Mizuno T24 wedge in a denim copper actually, which does look very nice. Hats off to them for that. I'll take my hat off today because we have had a fresh haircut, so I can take my hat off. But also, like I said, the S23 for me is a standout wedge. We're going to compare them here today and just see, why this used to be so easy to get these off, and now it's just a bit more difficult. But we're going to see just potentially, come on, sorry, oh, that had something on it. Denim copper, wider grooves to maximise spin on partial swings. Right, interesting. So can we get more spin? Which one can we get more spin on, and which one can we get closer to? That actually looks really good down at the ball, that copper denim finish, doesn't it? Guys, comment below which finish would you have. The copper denim is probably going to... I'm going to say what's going on here. The copper denim will probably rust over time, which I do quite like. It feels a little bit heavier, but one thing that I think, and this is where if Mizuno are kind of believing in the technology they're putting in these wedges, very similar to the Night Gorge wedges with the kind of cut out there to help shift CG around and get you that bit of versatility, then why would you not put it in these? Because everybody pretty much wants that. So can I play the low spinny shots with this on a windy day like I would want to? Fair to say I can, because that was absolutely gorgeous, to be fair. That was a little bit toey, And again, this is a part of the game where a lot of people don't necessarily find it sexy. They don't necessarily want to go and spend £160 on a wedge. If you've got a 3-wedge system, which a lot of people do, 52, 56, 60, or even 50, 54, 58, that's going to be 160, 320, £480 just on your wedges. Most people would rather go and spend that money on a driver. They would go and put it towards maybe half a set of irons. If you think about it, that's a very, very expensive way to get your short game nice and sharp. Oh, that's so good. I mean, I will give it to them. That does feel very nice. It feels very soft. It's always going to feel good because nothing feels like a Mizuno. That is a bit of a marketing term. But generally, it's in the irons. Mizuno have not struggled with the wedges in the past, but I think a lot of people's ideal bag setup, if they're a Mizuno iron player, would be Vokey wedges or something like that. Let's now try with the older wedge. I believe these two are running in tandem actually, so they're both current wedges, so you don't necessarily have to replace them or vice versa. Imagine now if I don't get this inside the other one. This looks a little bit more bulbous, a little bit rounder, but I do feel like it should be easier to play that nice low shot that just checks up nicely. And that's an ideal shot to start with, because I duffed that. I really didn't hit that well at all, but I've got that element of forgiveness because of the grind and the bounce on here to help me get close to that flag. You'll see this is quite an easy shot. We're going to play some harder shots in a moment, but that's the shot that I really love with this wedge. I've been able to flight that in really low. That's the closest shot that we've hit so far, and it's just got loads of control on there. Control is an element that you have to have with wedges to have a good short game, and I think it's easier with these wedges, and I think Mizuno are maybe over-egging it when it comes to just how many times they are releasing wedges. Let's go find a harder shot and let's put these properly to the test. So as you can see now, guys, we have a more difficult shot, not a lot of green to work with, out of the rough and over a bunker. Let's go the new one first. Let's go T24 and just see how versatile this can be. I have actually quite liked it with the shots that I've hit so far, so I don't want this video to be perceived as a negative video around the product, but I just think with Mizuno, why don't you just get a wedge out there and almost treat it like Vokey do? Couple of years, keep it there. Technology doesn't move on that much, and stop kind of confusing a lot of golfers, really. Oof, I've thinned that one a bit. Sit. Not a great start there, bad lie, so I've tried to get a bit steeper on it. That's better. That's the shot you want out of this rough. Really get into it, loads of spin, and that will be a gimme. Two totally different shots there, two totally different results. Let's go again. Here I'm going to try not to go landing angle. I'm going to try and generate a little bit of spin, even though we are in the rough. So we'll go a little bit lower, move it back in the stance, and try and play it that way. No real spin at all, and you're never really going to get that from moist rough like this, but you can generate a little bit of control potentially. A really good way to test wedges here by testing them in the rough as well. We'll hit a couple in a bunker to finish this video off, but I love the way this sits, and we did crown this, myself and Chris, the short game expert, our favourite club of this year very early on in the year because of how much it can potentially help a lot of golfers. You see, I've hit two good shots there and one average one. But for me, the ease of use of that and how it glides through the turf, that was a toey shot and it's still gone rather close. It feels so easy to use, it really, really does. I don't know if it's the confidence that it instills in me potentially rather than the tech, as it were. I'd love to see Vokey try and get the hands on something like this and try and get that kind of gouge out the back of it. But that's quite a few very good shots using both wedges. Let's jump in the bunker, let's see just how potentially the versatility on this can help us. For me, two good wedges, but could well be very confusing and a very expensive mistake if you get the wrong ones. Okay guys, so the final test for me is out of bunkers, and like I said, two wedges that probably run in line with each other. Which ones would you go for? Get in the comments below and let me know. And do you find it a little bit confusing when we do have two different types of wedges running to one side? I have mentioned Vokey quite a lot in this video. I feel like they are the kind of king of wedges and they know pretty much what they're doing with it all, and for me, I would be tempted just to try and have one, make it as good as possible for everyone, have a couple of different bounces like Vokey do, and then from there you're always going to be okay. So I have just grounded my club. You can DQ me if you want. I'm also going to move these stones because it is a brand new wedge. Let's see if we can play. Oh my, that was absolutely good. How good was that? I feel like that was right at the middle of the screws as well. I feel like it's a good wedge, but Mizuno must have so many wedges spare when they come to the end of a run, because people must think, oh, well, I'll just wait for the new ones, or I'll wait for the new ones, or I'll wait. They release one at the start of the year, one at the end of the year. I don't know if it's just me thinking that. Guys, do you think it, or am I being a bit petty about it? That's even better. I mean, proximity to the flag wise, that's, is that magician level, Chris?
Not bad.
Go one more. So long story short, guys, should I put this wedge in the bag? Because I don't know, that's outstanding, isn't it? In all honesty. So can we beat that? The only way we're going to beat that is if we hole one. Guys, comment below how we're going to hole one with the S23. I always forget the names as well. Right, S23, similar shot. Comes out a bit lower, but again, quite a nice finish on there. Go on, he's got one! Yes! I just love bunker shots, to be honest. Maybe I should start a bunker channel. Right, guys, comment below, what do you think to these wedges? Would you put some in the bag? Would you buy Mizuno wedges at all? And apart from that, I'll see you all at exactly the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.